Greetings everyone, my name is Tianda Aliani and I'm from School of Business and Management at Bandung Institute of Technology. So today I'll be sharing to you about my research findings about the topic awareness and use of food labels on packaged food product, and this is a study of the Generation Z in Indonesia. So this presentation will be divided into four main parts. The first one is need of research, then it's methodology, results and discussion, and the last one will be the conclusion of the research itself. So need of research. The background problem for this research is that there's a higher interest in food label information due to the increasing demand for safer and higher quality food. However, there is a significant level of uncertainty when purchasing food products, and as a result, understanding food labels allow consumers to evaluate the product before purchasing it. The previous researches mainly focus on assessing the awareness or use of nutritional value information, such as sugar, fat, and sodium. There have also not been many studies evaluating the influence of demographic attributes on awareness and food label use, as previous research mainly explores the influence of gender in those aspects. To address the gap in the research topic, the study aims to describe the awareness of label elements and the use of label information on packaged food products among Generation Z in Indonesia. To achieve this, there are three research objectives being constructed. First is to identify food label elements that are often recognized and food label information frequently used. Second is to examine the relationship between awareness of food label elements with the demographic characteristic. And the third one is to evaluate the association between the use of food label information with the demographic characteristics. The research hypothesis developed and tested in this research from the literature review, which I will not be delving into more details in this presentation due to time constraint, is as follows. So the first hypothesis is that females have a higher awareness of food label elements than males. The second hypothesis is that younger age group demonstrates higher label awareness than the older age group. And the third hypothesis is that females have higher food label information use compared to males. Next is methodology. For the data collection, the online survey will be the primary method, as it can be done remotely due to the respondent's location. The data sample to be studied in this research is Generation Z Indonesia, that fulfills the following criteria. First, their Indonesian nationality. Second, it could be female or male. Third, their age range is between 16 to 25 years old. And fourth is that they have looked at food label information of any food product within the past 6 months. For the data analysis itself, SPSS statistic will be utilized. Specifically, the chi-square test will be used to determine whether a relationship between two categorical variables exists based on the distribution of the categorical variables itself. Then the significance level used to reject or accept the hypothesis is a p-value of 0.05. 0.05 is the number that is usually utilized for academic research, and I think for a first-time researcher as myself, this is a standard number that I could rely on. And so what does a 0.05 means? A significance of 0.05 or less indicates a difference between observed and expected value, which means the null hypothesis is to be rejected and the alternative hypothesis can be accepted. And in describing the result, descriptive statistics and inferential statistics will be used. Next is the results and discussion. For important food labels, it is observed that the label elements respondents are aware of are similar to the label information used by the respondents. The same can also be said for label elements with little awareness, as it is also the label information used the least by respondents. So the top label elements that respondents are aware of is product name, expiry date, halal logo, and ingredient list. For the food label elements that is frequently used is product name, expiry date, product type, and halal logo. So now we'll be talking about the relationship between demographic characteristics and food label awareness. The first hypothesis states that females have higher label awareness than males, so it can be assumed that gender might have a relationship with demographic characteristics. The assumptions can be precluded, however, as the study observes no relationship between gender and the level of label awareness, as you can see on this table, as the significance level of gender is higher than 0.05. So, when looking at this distribution graph for gender, there is not much difference between the categories. Within the low label awareness category, the number of females is double of that males, approximately. A similar observation is also seen for medium label awareness, as females are double that of males. Although not exact, the distribution of males and females within the high label awareness category are similar. Albeit with the more female respondent in the study, the distribution for females in each category is higher, but they are pretty much the same value compared to the male. So next, the second hypothesis states that the younger age group has a higher awareness level than the older age group. The assumption can be proven true as age is associated with the awareness level among the respondent. So when looking at this graph, a more significant portion of the 16 to 18 years old and 19 to 22 years old age group are classified as having high level of label awareness, with a smaller number of its respondents are classified into having medium label awareness. For respondents between 23 to 25 years old, the majority of the members are pooled within medium label awareness, with only a few people having high label awareness. Now we'll be discussing about the relationship between demographic characteristics and food label use. So the third hypothesis presumes that females have higher label use compared to males. It is believed that gender has a relationship with the level of use of food label information. This assumption can be accepted because the test shows an association between gender and the level of food label use. As you can see on this table, gender has a significant level of 0.037, which is lower than the threshold of 0.05. Now, in relation to the distribution of gender, there seems to be a slight variation between male and females and their level of food label use. For the category of low label use, there are similar distributions among males and females. The distribution is also true for males and females within the medium label use category. However, it is observed that there are significantly more females for the category of high label use than their male counterparts, as can be seen on this graph. So the conclusions for this research: first, brand name, expiry date, halal logo, product type, and ingredient list are the label elements that many Generation Z consumers are highly conscious of, with similar labels used during food purchases. Second, income, religion, and education level do not influence awareness or food label use. Third, age is suggested to influence label awareness, as the younger age group have a higher awareness of food label elements than their older counterparts. Fourth, gender is shown to have a considerable influence on the food label use, as females are shown to have significantly higher label use when compared to males. So that is all for my presentation, and thank you for your attention.